Welcome into Jets Game Day, presented by Audi. I'm your host, Caroline Hendershot, alongside Eric Allen. We'll get to Bart Scott in a moment, but EA, how was your bye week?
It was good, but after a couple days off, I'm ready to get going. We got a lot to talk about.
A lot to talk about. You are completely correct. Bart Scott, how was your bye week?
It was peaceful. And then I come back to chaos. I love it.
Yes, lots of chaos because the Jets are going back into this second half of the season. They're hosting the Cleveland Browns 2-6 at MetLife Stadium this Sunday. But there was a lot to unpack that happened this past week. So let's get out of the tunnel and recap this timeline of events from the last couple weeks. Okay, so first things first, Aaron Glenn gets his first win against Cincinnati. The Jets are enjoying their bye week and the front office gets to work. So cornerback Michael Carter II got traded to the Philadelphia Eagles for wide receiver John Mechie while swapping late-round draft picks. Then Sauce Gardner got traded to the Indianapolis Colts for 2 first-round picks and wide receiver A.D. Mitchell. Then Quinnen Williams got traded to the Dallas Cowboys for a 2026 second-round pick and a 2027 first-round pick, as well as defensive tackle Mazi Smith. So a major shakeup for the green and white. Let's talk about these top storylines presented by HCL Tech. I'm sure there's a lot of them. EA, let's start with yours first.
Momentous week in New York Jets history. I'm circling November 4th, 2025 on my calendar. If the Jets are able to indeed turn this thing around, this will be a monstrous day for the Jets moving forward because now, over the course of the next 2 drafts, you have 5 first-round picks. Next April, 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, 3 first-round picks in 2027. But I'm also excited to see some of the players the Jets got in return in these deals. A.D. Mitchell comes over from Indianapolis. He's a guy who can separate. The Jets are also got John Mechie. He's got quick area burst, and he's got some return ability. And Mazi Smith is a former first-round pick in his own right. Also on the outside, when you're talking about Gardner going to Indianapolis, that means A.Z. Thomas, the impressive rookie from Florida State, is going to get a chance here down the stretch to get some valuable reps and start for the green and white.
Bart Scott, what's your top storyline?
Flexibility, options. You got to love options, the ability to take advantage whenever something presents itself. The Jets have set themselves up for draft capital, but also salary cap flexibility. When you talk about Michael Carter, you talk about Sauce Gardner, you talk about Quinnen Williams, you talk about 3 of the highest paid players in their positions. Now you're able to dump that salary and give yourself flexibility to extend maybe a Breece Hall, extend maybe a Jermaine Johnson, maybe find a way to sign Vera Tucker to a 1-year deal. It gives you so much flexibility and options to be able to do things. And listen, I thought that, they took advantage of the fact that, teams really valued Quinnen Williams. You saw that early in the season that it was reports that Jerry wanted Quinnen for Parsons. We didn't do that, but then again, that just let you know how much he valued the player. But then again, when you look at the other side, Sauce Gardner that's a historic trade for me. I mean, this is probably the best value that you could get for any player. 2 first-round draft picks and a player that you need and a young player that's talented. And maybe now we can see that Garrett Wilson will be able to work the intermediate parts and be able, when you have somebody that can line up on the same side of him and take the top off the defense, I think it's a great day for the Jets. And if the Jets turn this thing around, and when they turn it around, we're going to turn back to this day and say this was the day when it all changed because the Jets took 2 good players or arguably 2 great players and they turned them into a boatload of picks and opportunities to be able to get the players that they need, but also to reset the salary cap.
Caroline, I think Bart hit the nail on the head there when he talked about those 2 things, value and flexibility. The Jets saw value in these moves, and this is something that Darren Muji and his personnel department have done each week is assess the value of their own players. And when teams come from the outside and say, we're going to give you more value for those guys, you have to make those moves.
Yeah, and I know it's hard for some people to see some of their favorite players get traded. That's the hardest part about the trade deadline. However, like both of you said, the Jets really improved their capital for the future. So there's a bright future ahead for the green and white. All right, don't go anywhere because coming up, we have an exclusive interview with head coach Aaron Glenn. Top Storylines is presented by the official digital transformation partner of the New York Jets, HCL Tech, supercharging progress. Jets Game Day is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today, or visit AudiOffers.com for more information.
AG, how would you describe trade deadline day for the New York Jets?
Pretty explosive. And entertaining and tough because of the magnitude of the players that we had, that we parted with. And it's always tough because these teams come with these offers that sometimes it's just hard to refuse. Listen, we hate to lose the players, but we know that we've created something for ourselves to be able to build with some young players that we can come in and be a part of what we got going on.
Can you speak about how you and Darren Muji want to build this thing brick by brick?
Well, the thing is, we have a couple of sayings that we have when it comes to the foundation of this team. And first off, we want guys that love football. We want guys that are smart, tough, aggressive, resilient, and all those things that we try to put together and try to go out and find players that actually fit that mold. And now with the type of ammunition that we have, man, we have a really good shot at trying to go and get a lot of those guys high in the draft to be able to do that.
You said you were going to listen. What made action happen, starting with the Colts when you call and inquire about Sauce Gardner?
Yeah, and again, like, these are not situations where we go out and we're looking, because we're happy with the guys that we have. But when these teams start calling and when they start throwing out 2 first-round picks and another player, that's something that you really have to listen to. And I think Mooj and his staff did a really good job of vetting out all the nonsense and really talking to the guys that were, or the women that were really serious about what they were trying to offer. And man, the offer was just too good to pass up. And again, man, those guys are great players. They did a lot of good things here for the Jets. Obviously, they were all pros, so it's kind of hard to part with those type of guys. But again, you have to make business decisions in this league, and that's what we had to do today.
How did the Quinnen Williams deal come together?
Again, teams are calling, and listen, they came up with a deal that was hard to refuse, and we felt like it was a situation where we got to move forward with it, and that's how it was. A lot of these deals were like that. Again, we vetted out the ones that were good, and the ones that wasn't good, we just let it go to the wayside and make the decisions.
Was it nonstop calls today for you guys?
Yeah, I think I think it was all teams, because I don't think every offer is truly legit until they really get serious about what they're talking about. And again, we didn't make calls. Calls came to us, and it worked out for us.
How do you guys balance the now and also the future? Because now when you look at your draft capital, you have 5 first-round picks over the next 2 years.
I would say this: we're not in this thing to lose games at all. And we think that we have a model that, man, doesn't matter if you have injuries, it doesn't matter if you could have adversity, that our brand is going to be what wins games for us, And listen, it's really good when you have talent behind that brand. So the thing is, we're still moving forward as far as, man, we're game planning. We're trying to win every game that we have each week, and then also be able to build what we're trying to build with the draft capital that we have. So it's a two parts to this thing of, man, we're looking to win now, but we're also looking to build as we continue to try to win.
This is a historic day, and you've been in the NFL for decades. Have you ever been part of something like this?
It's hard for me to think and say, yes, I have. But it is pretty historic. I mean, the thing is historic because you have 2 legit, really good players that you part with. That's always tough. But you also look at what you're getting and knowing that you can really build with a young group of guys coming out of college and be able to really set a foundation that you're trying to set.
What's going to be the message to the guys now moving forward? Because they've had relationships with these 2 players, in Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams, and they're very good players in the National Football League. What are you going to say to the guys?
Well, what is there to say? They've seen it. So they know this is how the NFL is. And this league is always fluid. So these guys are grown men, and you don't have to sit there and try to sugarcoat anything to them. They know exactly how this league is. And I think people just, I think they look at that and they blow it out of proportion because players come and go in this league. I mean, at some point, I was part of that too, and I had to leave. So, but it's the brand that we have that we want to try to continue to develop, and that's going to help us win games. And this is not about one person. It's not about 2 people. This is about 53 men working together to try to go out there and win games.
Are you looking forward to getting back on the field after you guys finally were able to achieve that winning feeling in Cincinnati? Now you're hosting a home game against the Browns.
Yeah, but it was good to get that win. The players went out there and did a hell of a job, especially being down. by 15 or whatnot, and being able to come back in that second half and be able to get that win. That just shows a lot about the growth of what we're trying to do, about the grit of the players that we have, and man, about just being able to learn how to win games. So obviously, yes, we're ready to get back on the field. We need that bye week. We need the bye week, but yeah, we're ready to get back tomorrow, start practicing, and get ready to go play Cleveland and get a win.
Well, let's end here. Do you think this can be a momentous day for this organization looking back?
We expect it to, you know, and I think every day is a momentous day for us because every day we're working our ass off to be the best we can be.
Thanks, AG.
All good. Thank you.
When we return on Jets Game Day, Bart Scott breaks down Myles Garrett and the Cleveland Browns.
Jets Game Day is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today, or visit AudiOffers.com for more information.
I'm Bart Scott, a.k.a. the Mad Backer. I'm here looking for the Pepsi Tailgate MVP. I can't wait. You got a wing ready?
That's a barbecue wing.
That's all. I'm looking for Teddy. I can smell all the aroma, the bold flavors, and all the taste. What inspired this tailgate?
Having a fan base that loves the Jets no matter where they are. And then it's grown to a community, just a bunch of friends.
I keep hearing about these tacos. Look at that right here. This right here is exactly what makes Teddy the Pepsi Tailgate MVP. And we've been searching far and wide, east and west, every lot around here looking for the best tailgate. I want to present to you the Pepsi Tailgate MVP. Teddy's our Pepsi Tailgate MVP. Maybe next year it can be your tailgate, but right now the title belongs to Teddy. Jets!
Jets!
Welcome back to Jets Game Day presented by Audi. As we get closer to kickoff, let's get inside the numbers brought to you by the New York Lottery. Our first number is 23, as in the amount of points scored in the fourth quarter against the Bengals, and this is the third largest comeback by the Jets since 2000. Our next number is 17, as in the amount of explosive plays Breece Hall has accumulated this season, which ranked third in the league heading into the bye week. In Week 8, Hall became the 10th non-quarterback in NFL history with 2 rushing touchdowns and a passing touchdown in the same game. Jets fans, your lucky numbers for the week will be 23, 3, 17, 10, and 2. Now it's time for a film breakdown presented by Moody's. Bart, take it away.
Olu Fashanu and Mimbu will be challenged this week. Now, when you look at it right here, they understand, and this is not typical. If you look right here, Hunter Henry is on the left side. Typically, you put the tight end on the right side, but because Myles Garrett is so dominant, you have to try and get your tackle some help. A young tackle, much like Olu Fashanu is going to be his first time, I believe, dealing with Myles Garrett, who had 5 sacks against the New England Patriots. If you circle right here, you're going to see that Henry's going to come off the ball. He's going to get a quick set, right? That means he doesn't take any steps. What he's going to do is try and quick jam Myles Garrett before he goes out into his route. Now, Will Campbell is supposed to kick back, but instead of kicking back, he opened up his shoulders, which means that he has a soft shoulder, means that he can't stop Myles Garrett from being able to get to the quarterback. And Myles Garrett does what Myles Garrett does. He's one of the most athletic freaks that we have in this game, much like Javon Curse. I think it's the last person that we had with this type of talent. He went arm over and then he did a cross chop. This is like, it's not like he's getting there with pure speed like sometimes the speed rushers have. He has a plan to get to the quarterback. He came off the ball. He understood that and he's used to this. He understood that he was going to get chipped before on Henry. So he made sure that he went arm over to make sure that he didn't avoid contact. But then the cross chop. And Will Campbell had a tough time. I'm sure he'll tell you that, that was his welcome to the NFL moment. Myles Garrett is one of the best in the business. 5 sacks is almost, I think Derek Thomas is the only person that had more sacks than that.
This film breakdown is brought to you by Moody's, proud partner of the New York Jets. Get 100% verified tickets to every upcoming game at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Jets and the NFL.
It's been tough. It's been long. Honestly, must have been 3 weeks. Yeah, man. I never really got to watch the game from this point of view that I've been able to sit back and see it from these last couple of weeks. And yeah, man. Honestly, I feel like it was enlightening for me just to see it from a different point of view and take that time to get my knee back. And now I feel great. Not to mention, I'm just super pumped to be back out there and with my teammates.
What are your thoughts on A.D. Mitchell?
A.D. Mitchell, oh, he's a dog, bro. I've been watching bro since he was at Georgia. And then obviously these past couple years at Texas, I got to watch him. We played against him on the Colts last year. So, you know, we got a lot of mutuals. I'm getting to know him, and he's a great dude, and had a hell of a day at practice today. And yeah, man, we all getting to know each other. It's cool, man. I'm excited to have some of these new guys in the room, man. He's a big body, first of all, man. He can go up and get the ball, make it hard to tackle. And I'm excited to see what he does, man, because he's got it all, for real.
That was your Locker Room Roundup presented by Dunkin'. The Jets run on Dunkin'. All right, you two, it's time to make your case. EA, we're going to start with you first. What was the most encouraging trend for the Jets coming off a win and their bye week?
Oh, the offense was incredible against the Cincinnati Bengals. You amassed more than 500 yards. You come back in the fourth quarter from a 15-point deficit. But also a trend that I've seen over the last 3 games is, Bart, the penalties are way down. So the discipline is starting to take effect here at One Jets Drive.
And you know what? There's nothing better than going into the bye week with a win. It feels like you've almost won for 2 weeks. Bart, what young player on the Jets do you want to see step up for the green and white?
Oh, wow, that's an interesting question. I tell you what, I like the idea that Isaiah Williams got an opportunity. He showed that he can add to that. I thought the young wide receiver core, everybody stepped up, and now we created an opportunity for competition when you talk about bringing in Mechie, who's going to get opportunity once he stepped away from Devontae Smith and he's stepped away from A.J. Brown, but also A.D. Mitchell as well. When you think about the fact that he was stuck behind Pierce and Pittman. So now you have young guys that are coming in that's unproven, that has a lot to prove and should have a huge chip on their shoulder. So I'm excited to see what rises to the top from this young receiving core.
Yes, very well said. All right, well, let's close out this show with some of our final thoughts. EA, you have the floor.
Well, hours before the trade deadline on Tuesday, Bart and I attended the funeral of Nick Mangold. Nick was a person who was the ultimate Jet. He was a great player, a tremendous center, a leader, an outstanding teammate. He committed everything to family, faith, and community service. He planted his flag within this organization. He is a friend. He can't be replaced, but he leaves an unbelievable legacy, and our hearts go out to Jenny and his 4 children. It was a beautiful service, Bart, and Nick will be with us forever.
Oh, absolutely. I echo a lot of the same things that you said. I thought that Alan Faneca did a great job encapsulating, what Nick was to so many different people in the different hats that he wore. The fact that, he had so much representation from former teammates from different eras, too. It was from my time there, going all the way back to the Chad Pennington days. It kind of, covered, 3 different iterations of like who Nick was over his long, illustrious career. But also just the show of support, the overflow to the other building and the men of our first responders, and the fact that how many of them showed up to want to pay homage and honor to them, because when Nick was alive, he paid homage to them as well. We talk about the story about the tragedy and with him wearing the first responders hat and carrying the flag. He was a great guy. He's going to be missed, but his legacy lives on. He lives through us. And I'm excited to continue to push his legacy and tell everybody how great my friend Nick Mangold was and teammate.
Very, very well said, both of you. Thank you for that. And we're, of course, always thinking of his family and, of course, Nick Mangold himself. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us on Jets Game Day presented by Audi. The next time you will see us will be after Thursday Night Football when the Jets are playing the New England Patriots. We will be recapping that game.